Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jessica Garrity and I am a registered dietitian and mindset coach. In this video series, we are learning how we can balance our blood sugar. In the last video, we learned how eating breakfast can really support blood sugar control. And in this video, we are going to discuss 3 more practical, simple steps that you can take in order to balance your blood sugar. And the reason why we want to balance our blood sugar is because it supports healthy hormones, healthy energy, healthy metabolism, and a healthy weight. So the next step that we want to take is to balance the plate. And the reason why we would want to balance the plate is because it is going to help reduce blood sugar spikes after meals. Now, one of the issues people have when it comes to hormone health and energy throughout the day and weight is that people tend to have blood sugar spikes. And what this looks like is they'll eat food and their blood sugar will go really high and then really low and then really high and then really low. And all the steps in this video series that I'm teaching you is to prevent high highs and low lows in your blood sugar spikes. When you eat food, your blood sugar is going to rise, and that is a totally healthy, normal response. The body is you're going to eat food, it's going to be broken down into energy, your blood sugar is going to rise, also known as blood glucose. And then what happens is the pancreas will release the hormone insulin, and what insulin does is it will shuttle or take the blood sugar into the cells to be used as energy. Well, what happens is if you eat food in a way that causes a large blood sugar spike, the pancreas responds by increasing the amount of insulin to take the blood sugar into the cell. And if the pancreas is constantly releasing insulin because the blood sugar is constantly going up, and surging and spiking, then this can lead to things like insulin resistance, PCOS, prediabetes, weight gain, and other metabolic disorders. And one of the best ways that you can counter this is to reduce blood sugar spikes after meals. And one of the ways you can do this is by balancing your plate with a non-starchy vegetable, a protein, and a carbohydrate. Foods that have carbohydrates in them include grains like wheat, rice, quinoa, barley, and oats. It also includes tuber vegetables such as white potatoes, sweet potatoes, beets, corn, cassava. If you are gluten-free, maybe you bake with cassava flour. And it also includes lentils and beans, wheat products, including bread, cereal, crackers, desserts. Really, carbohydrates are found in a lot of foods, and that's totally normal and it's really good. We need carbohydrates. It's just we want to make sure that we are balancing the carbohydrates that we are eating with a protein and a vegetable. And this is how we can balance the plate. What I like to do is I like to have 1 to 2 vegetables be on half the plate. And I like to have some protein on my plate. This can be anywhere between 4 and 6 ounces, depending on how much food you need. And then I like to have 1/4 of the plate be carbohydrate. And when you eat your carbohydrate with protein and vegetable, what this does is it's going to prevent your blood sugar from rising as high after the meal as it would if you were to just eat pasta or rice or bread alone. So if you've ever heard never eat naked carbs, this is how you can dress your carbs, is by balancing them with protein and non-starchy vegetables. The second step is really just adding on to that concept, is to eat energy dense meals. What do I mean by energy dense meals? What I'm looking for is making sure that you are eating enough at your meals. What we want to avoid is eating small portions or snacks instead of meals. Like some people, when they're really busy or they're a mom and you have a lot going on, it can be really easy just to snack throughout the day and to skip meals. And what we want to do is replace that grazing and that snacking with energy dense meals. And when you're eating an energy dense meal, it's important that you have that plate look like the build your plate method with a balance of protein, carbohydrate, and vegetables. And that we just want to make sure that we're eating enough of it. And what happens is every time you eat, your blood sugar goes up. So if you're eating small meals, your blood sugar is spiking more regularly than if you're eating a little bit of a larger meal and then giving yourself time in between meals to eat again. Now, it can be necessary to snack because sometimes we have to wait long periods of time in between meals and we get hungry. And if you're getting hungry, it's probably a good idea to snack. My general rule of thumb is that if you're waiting more than 5 hours to eat meals, you might want to add a snack. I like to think of this as an insurance policy, because if you're waiting 7 to 8 hours in between lunch and dinner, it's very possible that you're going to go into dinner very hungry because you've waited a long time to eat. And by adding a snack, what will happen is you will avoid feeling overly hungry at dinner time and overeating. So I like to choose high protein snacks, or I will pair my carbohydrate with a fat or a protein. So what this would look like is berries and whole fat yogurt. So the berries has carbohydrate and the whole fat yogurt has protein and fat. Cheese and grapes, corn chips and guacamole. I love the brand Simple Mills almond flour crackers with hummus. I love dark chocolate because dark chocolate has a lot of fat in it from the cacao, and that is going to help stabilize blood sugar. Roasted nuts are a great high protein option. You can also do plantain chips and guacamole or beef sticks. So there are other brands on the market that have, the Epic bars that have bison meat in it that you can eat as a snack. There are other granola bars like the red granola bar. You can also have apple or celery with a peanut butter or a nut butter, popcorn. All of these are just great snack ideas, and I'm sure you have your own go-to favorite snacks that you enjoy. And it can be really helpful just to have a little something in between meals, especially when you know that you have to wait a long period of time to eat. And one last thing with the snacks, I have worked with people who have type 1 and type 2 diabetes, and just by taking something that has a carbohydrate like a piece of fruit or a cracker and having it with something that has a fat like guacamole and cheese, this actually helps prevent the blood sugar from rising as much after the snack. And this is how you can enjoy the foods that you love in balance. I hope that you found this video helpful. So just to review, we learned how to balance the blood sugar by eating a balanced meal. We want to be eating energy-dense meals, and we want to be snacking when necessary. I hope you found this video helpful. If you liked it, feel free to share it with a friend or drop a comment below and let me know what you plan to doing from what you learned in this video.